Good morning, children. Today we are going to see Chemistry Chapter 5 Separation of Substances. In this chapter, already we have seen few methods of separation. First, we saw what is a substance, how the substances are classified based on the impurities present and the mixture. Based on the impurities as pure substances and impure substances, based on the mixture as homogeneous substances and heterogeneous substances. Also, the need for separating the substances were discussed, right? Then we saw the methods to separate the substances when it is in the form of an impurity or when there is a mixture, right? We discussed threshing, winnowing, handpicking, sieving, decantation, sedimentation and filtration. Today's class we are going to see the remaining methods of separation. The first method we are going to see today is evaporation. What is the meaning of the process evaporation? In this process, any liquid which is present will be converted to gaseous state. There occurs in the changes in the state of matter. Yes, state of matter, there are three states: solid, liquid and gases, right? So in the evaporation process, the liquid substance will be converted to gaseous state. Understood? So that is why I have written here as water is converted into water vapor. Water vapors are gas molecules. Water is liquid. So liquid to gas conversion happens in evaporation process. But how is this conversion process going to help us to separate the substance? For that, let us consider an example of salt water. How do you prepare salt water? You will take a tumbler, pour water into it and add few spoons of salt to it, and then you will stir it well. You will mix it in such a way all the salt gets dissolved with the water. It will get completely mixed with the water so that you will get the salt water, right? Now, if I want to separate the salt from the salt water, how will I separate? For that process, I am going to implement the method of evaporation. I will take a beaker and pour the salt water into it, and I will apply the flame. So this is a stand having the burner. From the burner the flame comes and it is going to heat the beaker containing salt water. Understood? So this salt water on heating will start to evaporate because the water which is present in the liquid will give the vapors. The vapors are nothing but the gas molecules. The liquid to gas conversion happens here and the vapors escape out, and at last I will have the salt alone deposited in the beaker like this. I will have the salt at the bottom because all the water will be escaped out as vapors. Okay, so now in this process I had two ingredients for salt water. That is salt, water. I had two ingredients. By the process of evaporation, I got the salt separately. But how can I collect the water? The water is evaporated into the into the air, surrounding air as vapors. As gas, it has evaporated. But how can I collect it? To collect back the water, I am going to apply the next method, that is condensation. Okay, so what happens in condensation process? The water vapor which is present as gas will be converted again back into water, into the liquid state. Gaseous to liquid conversion is condensation process. Okay, so don't confuse in evaporation liquid to gas conversion, whereas in condensation the vice versa, gaseous to liquid state conversion. Okay, so the same example I am taking. Okay, water is evaporated as water vapors. So first the evaporation process is done. Now to collect back the water which escaped as vapors, I am going to close this beaker using a plate, so that all the vapors will be collected on the plate as water drops. You could have seen this when your mother boils the water and closes it with a plate. After few minutes when she opens the plate, there you could see the water drops on the plate. You could have also seen while closing a vessel with hot milk or any food item cooked, and if it is hot, yes, your hot box and all, once it is closed and you open it after a while, there could be some water drops on the plate. That is because the collection of vapors on it. Okay, so this plate will collect the vapors evaporated, and when I tilt means I'm going to just incline the plate. Inclination means a kind of tilting. Okay, so when I tilt, the water drops from the plate will fall down and it is collected again. So the water vapors are now again giving us the water back. Understood? So by this method I got my water also again. I have separated both salt and water. Now did you notice one thing? To separate a substance, I have implemented two processes. In evaporation process, I got only salt back. Again, if I implement the condensation process only, I got the water also separated. So always keep in your mind, to separate a substance, I may implement two or more methods. There is nothing wrong in it. Okay, in the previous methods what we discussed, like threshing, winnowing, hand picking, by one single process itself the substances were separated. But sometimes, not always, sometimes to separate a mixture, it may involve two or more processes together. Okay children, the next process what are we going to discuss is magnetic separation. This method involves the uses of magnet. I have taken a piece of magnet here. The most important thing of using a magnet is it has the attractive property. What is meant by attractive property? It will attract the nearby objects. You don't want to apply any force at all. If you bring a magnet near to a steel or iron desk, it gets attached. You are not going to apply any force. That is the important property of magnet. Its nature itself, it has its ability to attract. Okay, you will learn in detail about magnets as a separate chapter this year. Okay, so a magnet will always have two poles, north pole and south pole. The north pole will attract the south and the south will get attracted to the north. That is, the opposite poles attract each other. That is a property of magnet. You should know that first. Okay, the magnets attract the opposite poles. The opposite of north is south. Opposite of south is north. So the opposite poles get attracted. That is what I have drawn here. So this is a magnet having north and south pole, and I have kept it in the center. Now when I bring another piece of magnet near to it, if the south pole is towards this side, means they get attracted, they get attached. Similar way, in the other end I am bringing another piece of magnet. So the opposite of south is north. Okay, so they get attracted. Understood? So the opposite poles attract in a magnet. How this magnet is going to help us to separate the substances means, let us consider an example case of a beaker having sulfur and iron fillings in it. Okay, sulfur is in the form of a chemical powder, and having some iron fillings means any few small pieces of iron mixed with the sulfur. Now I need to separate both the substances. For this I am using a magnet, because iron has the ability to get attracted by a magnet. Okay, so when I bring a magnet near to this beaker, the iron fillings alone, that is the pieces of iron alone, will be attracted to the magnet, and only sulfur will be left over in the beaker. By this method, I can separate the substances. Okay, the second example case. Sawdust plus iron nails. Sawdust is nothing but the wood waste. When a carpenter manufactures or produces some furnitures made of wood, there you could see the wood waste. That is what we call as sawdust. Okay, in the sawdust, some iron nails are mixed. How will a carpenter separate the iron nails and sawdust? He will use a magnet for that purpose, because iron gets attracted to a magnet. Iron nails will be easily separated with the help of a magnet. When I bring a magnet near to it, all the iron nails will be attracted, leaving the sawdust alone separately. Okay, the third example is, where do we use the magnet to separate is, you could have seen the huge loads of garbage waste material. So you could have seen the heavy huge masses of waste dumped together. So in that waste, it can be any paper, vegetable waste, electronic waste, and iron waste, steel waste, anything can be dumped all together. So in order to separate the iron and steel waste, we use magnets. Okay, from the garbage, to separate the iron waste, we can use magnet in the crane. Cranes will have the magnets attached to it, so that they can lift the heavy iron loads of waste present in the garbage. Okay, so this is also a method to separate the substances. With this, we have discussed all the methods to separate a substance, which may be either of an impure one or it may be of a mixture. So the need for separation is satisfied with the help of the separation methods. We can remove the impurities, we can obtain different components in the purable form, and also to group them. For that, we are implementing these methods. Okay children, so along with this, I have included this animated videos for your better understanding, explaining the methods of separation. Kindly watch that also, so that you will have a quick recall of this chapter. In the next class, I will give you the fair notes for this. Thank you children.